next time if anyone needs any.
Yeah.
We can make ourselves
That's really why we're here.
Wow. When Meghan said they're there for the pitch, she's not joking. She said the quiet part out loud. This moment changed everything because it proved that their royal exit wasn't a reaction. This video clip is from July 2019, 6 months before Megxit. This was a soft launch, in my opinion, of their Hollywood brand. I'm going to be talking about this clip. I'm going to talk about why this clip matters now more than ever. And I'm going to go into a moment where Harry made a comment about the Lion King character Scar. We're going to talk about ambition, betrayal, and branding Sussex style. But before we begin, here's the intro. Welcome to Revealing the Narc. Join me as I highlight narcissistic traits in celebrities and public figures. Everything here is in my opinion and not professional advice. If you enjoy the analysis, please like and subscribe. When Meghan and Harry attended the Lion King premiere in 2019, this wasn't just a red carpet stroll or a Hollywood photo op. It was a royal engagement, an official appearance in partnership with the Royal Foundation, and they were representing the crown. This moment reveals three different things. The first one is that they have misaligned priorities. Harry missed a memorial in order to attend this event. He actively chose not to be seen honoring the falling, but to be promoting his brand in secret. This moment also shows blurred boundaries. This wasn't private networking. This was public hustle on a red carpet in full view of the press. And it demonstrates image over institution for them. And this is key because it's not about royal responsibility anymore. It was about career advancement, fame over duty, profit over honor. I actually posted this video clip yesterday and I got a lot of comments on X and on the various social media websites that I use. And so many of you made me aware that Harry missed a very important event in order to go to this premiere. So I want to get into that, how we have such misaligned priorities. So let's go through this article that was published in January 14, 2020. The article is titled, Piers Morgan Blasts Prince Harry for Hustling at Lion King Premiere to Get Meghan Voiceover Work on Day of Royal Marines Memorial to IRA Blast Victims. Before we continue, what the video clip actually shows is not Prince Harry hustling to get Meghan voiceover work. He's hustling for both of them. And that to me is so shocking because I had heard of him hustling Meghan, but I didn't recognize that he was hustling himself as well. The article begins, the Good Morning Britain host slammed the Duke of Sussex for touting his wife for a job, claiming he snubbed an invite to a Royal Marines memorial service on the same day. Footage emerged of Harry at the London premiere last July where he collared Bob Iger, this is the CEO of Disney, telling him that Meghan was very interested in working with the multi-million-dollar media company. Morgan said today that the prince, who is Captain General of the Royal Marines, missed a memorial to honor victims of an IRA bomb at the Royal Marines base in Kent, in 1989. However, Kensington Palace denied Harry was ever invited to the memorial event. He attended the Lion King premiere in central London with wife Meghan on July 14. So can you imagine? Kensington Palace is still covering for him. And I'm assuming they were covering for him in January when this article came out with Piers Morgan slamming Harry about it. So even though the palace knew that Harry was shopping around trying to get deals for them, they still covered for him. It truly is shocking. Now let's get into this topic of blurred boundaries. In that moment when they were walking that red carpet, they weren't just Harry and Meghan, they were the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. They were senior working royals. They were in designer clothes, in front of cameras, backed by security, and there was press behind them. Everything about that moment screamed royal duty, and yet they were there pitching themselves. They were leveraging that very platform, a taxpayer-funded, monarchy-protected platform, to quietly lay the foundation for their post-royal careers. That's not just a bad look. That's a betrayal of the role they were entrusted with. And this matters. It matters a lot because when you represent the crown, you're not just representing yourself, you're acting on behalf of the British people. You're bound by duty, tradition, and protocol to stay neutral, to serve, and to elevate causes greater than yourself. The monarchy is not a business. It's not a stepping stone to Netflix. It's not a runway for brand deals. So when Harry turns to Bob Iger and says, she does voiceovers, right? He's not being supportive, or he's not just being supportive. He's selling on royal time, under royal titles, within a royal setting. And when Meghan turns to Jon Favreau and says, that's why we're here for the pitch, she's not just making conversation. She's confirming the agenda. She said the quiet part out loud. Their role at this event was to support a charitable partnership between Disney and the Royal Foundation. But instead of duty, they came with a different agenda, commercializing themselves. The clip isn't just cringe. It's a glimpse into the exit strategy already in motion. And this is dangerous because the moment you turn a royal engagement into a networking opportunity for yourself, you blur the line between monarchy and monetization. This is exactly why you can't be half in and half out. This is exactly what Her Majesty the late Queen was saying. This was her entire point. And then on top of it all, the monarchy isn't just symbolic, it's constitutional, it's ceremonial, it represents stability, heritage, diplomacy, unity. So when senior working royals start using that position for personal gain while still receiving public funds, protection, and prestige, they're not just breaking protocol, they're exploding the monarchy from within. The irony here is that they weren't kicked out, they weren't forced to leave, and they were already planning their escape while smiling in front of the cameras and shaking hands on behalf of the Queen. They were trying to sell to the highest bidder. Now, there's a lot of stories out there about how Meghan never intended on being a working royal forever, that she maintained her connections to Hollywood. And I absolutely, in my opinion, I believe this. I don't think she ever intended for that to be her full-time gig. Like, I figured, my thought was she would want to just go for the fancy events where she could stand on the balcony and get the carriage rides throughout the city. But she didn't want to be there for the small-time jobs. So I did a little bit of research about this because I really wanted to get the facts straight. At this point, we know that in July, so this was 6 months before Megxit, they were already pitching themselves. But for Meghan, I think it started a long time before that. So I looked into it and I found this article that was also released January 14, 2020. And the title is Exclusive Meet Team Meghan. How Markle kept her Hollywood power lawyer, agent, and business manager despite joining the royal family and moved her company to secretive Delaware days before Megxit. This is a very long article, so I tried to summarize it in a couple of bullet points. Number 1, Meghan kept her Hollywood power team. Despite joining the royal family, she retained her Hollywood agent, her lawyer, and business manager. And this is a move that strongly suggests she never intended to fully disconnect from the industry. Surprisingly, her agent attended the royal wedding. Nick Collins wasn't just an agent for her, he was there at the wedding, and that shows that her entertainment ties remained not just active, but close. Third, she was getting offers while still a royal. Her team continued reviewing TV, film, and philanthropic offers while she was a working royal. Collins was reportedly fielding pitches from Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon. 4, the business was moved to a secretive state. In December 2019, Meghan's company Frim, which was originally used for her blog, The Tig, was moved from California to Delaware. And it's known that Delaware has secrecy in its corporate filings. Number 5, the Tig's trademark was quietly renewed. Officially, it was said to be for protection of the brand, but I think she was likely planning to reignite the Tig. I think all of this shows that they wanted a media empire, not just charity work. Just look at all their actions. Look at the charity work that they've been doing and how they've run Invictus into the ground, sent Bali into the ground. And sources have said that the couple had been pondering for a long time how to transition into media, tech, and social platforms to fundraise for causes. They also have strategic partnerships already in motion. They had PR strategists with deep political ties, including Sarah Latham, who was an advisor to Hillary Clinton, and they worked behind the scenes with Keely Thomas Morgan, a US based brand strategist. And if I'm not mistaken, Keely Thomas Morgan was the one that arranged Meghan's Vanity Fair article, the one in 2017 where it says wild about Harry. And ultimately, all of this points to that they were prepping to monetize their fame. Industry insiders had told Harry and Meghan, or I believe that they believed that they had a potential to earn over $1 billion across media deals, public speaking, and philanthropic collaborations. And this is what they were thinking was going to be their life. This is why. This was their motivation for leaving. It really puts into question all of these excuses they've made for why they left. It was simply for financial gain, in my opinion. I'm curious to know what you all think about it. Please drop it in the comments. If there's any data or evidence that I've missed, please also drop that in the comments. Before we close out this video, I want to talk about the last portion of this video clip. And it's where Harry makes a really strange comment about the Lion King character Scar. So I'm going to show you the clip and we're going to talk about what an interesting connection this is.
She's not Scott. That's so noticeable. She's not Scott. That's so noticeable.
It's so telling, right? Like the irony. So let's talk about it. In The Lion King, Mufasa is a strong, noble, and respected king of the Pride Lands. He rules with wisdom, humility, and a deep sense of duty to his kingdom and family. Scar is his younger brother, intelligent, bitter, and consumed with envy. He believes he was overlooked, that he deserves more power, more recognition, more love. Scar can't accept his place in Mufasa's shadow, and he especially can't stand that Mufasa's son Simba is next in line. So, what does Scar do? He betrays Mufasa, eventually leading to Mufasa's death. It ends up driving Simba away, or Scar manipulates Simba into running away. He then assumes the throne under the illusion of rightful leadership, only to let the kingdom rot under his control. Before we go into the irony of this, I did a little bit of research and I found out that the director of Lion King, Rob Minkoff, and producer Don Hahn have stated that Mufasa and Scar are not blood brothers, but rather Mufasa is an orphan adopted by Scar's family. The movie implies that they are brothers, and many fans have accepted this, but the creators have clarified that Mufasa and Scar are not blood related. And I know all of you in this community, I know you're going to have a lot to say about that. So please drop that in the comments. Okay, now let's talk about Prince William and Prince Harry. I'm just going to make some surface comparisons, okay? And I'll say it right now. I don't know Prince William personally. I don't know Harry personally. But from what we're seeing on the outside in the press, I think this comparison is an easy one to draw. So it seems to me like Prince William is like Mufasa, the older brother, stable, reserved, prepared for leadership, and carries the weight of royal duty. Harry seems like Scar, the spare, has less responsibility, but not less ego. And over time, his resentment toward the system and perhaps his brother begins to grow. When Harry and Meghan stepped back from their royal duties, many thought it was because they were kicked out or pushed out, or Meghan was treated poorly, and all these other reasons. But now, the more we're learning, the more we're seeing, and then finding this clip, it's starting to look a lot like Scar's arc. resentment masked as righteousness, bitterness disguised as bravery. Harry joking that he's available for voiceover work, just not Scar, is completely demonstrates his clear lack of self-awareness because Scar is exactly the role that he's playing, the bitter brother who felt unseen and tore down the family that raised him. So I'm curious to know what you all think about this. Please drop that in the comments. If this was interesting to you, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you'll know every time I drop a new video. I want to thank you all for listening, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye, everybody.